Welcome to the shit show.
It is the All Elite Wrap-Up for what is today, April 24th, 2025. As you know, Tom, you're Tom, I'm Tim. We invite everybody watching us live. Live? Yes, I do say live. If you're listening back on the podcast, we do this live each and every week on Thursday nights, give or take, right? Sometimes we may have to go later or we may have to do it on a different day. Subscribe to us at allelitewrapup.com and you'll get all those updates when you need them. So you'll be in the know. It is completely free and we don't hound your inbox. We're not selling your data. All we ask is that if you like us at some point, hit us up on the donate buttons on allelitewrapup.com, right? Give us some money.
Yeah, you know, we are much like Collision in the sense that we could be on a Thursday, we could be on a Saturday, we could be on a Wednesday. You never know. Same with Collision. Last week it was on Thursday. This week it's on Saturday. You just catch up
I might
because
not
you're
wake
a fan.
up one Wednesday. I might sleep through it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you catch up because you like it, and if you like us, catch up. Well, you know, we're slippery
Catch
little
up.
snake around here, just trying to.
But you can always
record
right?
podcasts.
You can always catch us later. If you can't catch us live, the podcast is available. You can watch the live stream back on YouTube. www.allelitewrapup.com is your answer for all of that. That's also the Blue Sky account is at www.allelitewrapup.com. That's where you can find usually Tom, sometimes both of us furiously skeeting away throughout the events. Is that growing on you yet, Tom? Calling it skeeting?
No.
You still protest?
No, I don't like it. And I also, I couldn't log in today. Did you have any trouble logging into the thing?
No.
Not to our account. I'm just talking about Blue Sky in general. It kept on spinning for my bitch ass. Maybe it's me.
Didn't like
Maybe
you, huh?
Maybe someone hacked me. Oh, God. Someone's going to get that Bobby Witt Jr. Post I made. Oh, no. What are they going to do with that? Oh, here's the thing. If you don't post dumb fucking shit, you shouldn't be worried. Oh, they're going to get into my account. What are they going to say then? Oh.
Well, you know, some people have legitimate concerns about their social media posts and what somebody may be able to access, but you're not doing any of that, I don't think, right? You're not out there, you know.
I'm not a dumbass. You know? Like
do all that stuff off social media is what Tom is saying. If you're coordinating, you know, protests and things like that and anti-government activities, do that off social media.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You think social media is the thing to do for that?
No, I don't think that is, but people do, and that's where they get into trouble.
Well, then they should stop. That is so silly. What did you guys think? God. You think the fucking billionaires...
Use our email for that. All right, never mind. That's not what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Anyhow, Tim, today, it's NFL Draft Day. How you feel about it, huh? You excited?
It
is.
Any K-State
guys? Any K-State guys going to the first
there's some
round?
Guys. Yeah, well, DJ Giddens is a running back who did well in the combine and stuff. I know that name. There were some D-backs who ran some real fast 40s in the combine. I forget the names at the moment. I think it's Marquise Siegel and
defensive backs. Okay. Mm-hmm. I thought you were talking about the Arizona. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks, the D-backs. Nope. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, there was a cornerback and a safety, and I'm forgetting which is which and what the names are. And again, you know, it's hard to keep everything straight anymore. I'm old, Tom. I'm old.
You are.
I woke up one day and I was like, son of a bitch. I'm an old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
No, I've known that about you for a while. But watching the Royals today, switching sports, but still keeping it to K-State.
So this old guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was watching this baseball game midday.
Baseball rules. The guy for the Rockies went to K-State. He had a 93-game consecutive on-base streak. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
Johnny Wildcat.
There was a guy who was real good recently. Yeah, Johnny Wildcat. That was probably exactly it. Yeah. Sounds like a bar.
93
there,
games.
Johnny Wildcats, come on.
93 games to get on base consecutively. That's insane. No 0 for 4 nights. No strike. Yeah, that's crazy.
Consistency.
Yeah, but the draft.
Didn't do anything else but get on base, but 93 games in a row did that.
Yeah, I mean, that rules.
That's something, though. That's giving somebody a chance to do something with you.
Yeah, exactly. Get yourself on there, too. But yeah, the draft is tonight. It's in Green Bay, which makes me think about how funny the draft is. Because right before we started this podcast, I was upstairs and I was in between a lot of different things. With my TV, look, professionals are professionals. Stop self-diagnosing. Go to a fucking professional to get that shit really fucking taken care of. Stop. Oh, I know what I am. No, the fuck you don't. But if you were to look at my TV habits, you might think I'm ADHD because I had going through the Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, NHL hockey playoff game, the Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks NBA playoff game, and then the draft was starting. As I was kind of going through all three of those, I happened to be on the draft when I messaged you. I was like, hey, you ready? And they were playing the national anthem. And it just made me giggle so fucking much that in an event where billionaires are going to select predominantly black men based off of their athleticism to force them to live in cities like Green Bay that they probably don't want to live in, we're going to play a fucking song pledging our allegiance and saying home of the free. Isn't that just fucking amazing?
You saying some guys from Florida or California don't want to move up to Green Bay, Wisconsin and just hang out?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that the consensus number one overall pick, Cam Ward, who lives in Miami, wants to go to Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. No, I don't think that that's the
kids
case.
Hanging out in Tuscaloosa are like, you know what? Cleveland sounds mighty nice this time of year.
Yeah, I want to go. You know what?
Even Kansas City. Fuck, I wouldn't.
Well, it's just like, you know what? I really hate the rain. Oh, you know what would be awesome? If Seattle fucking really drafted me and then I just lived there the entire time. And then if I chose to go back home, people would say I'm a traitor.
Depression. I would really like Seattle to draft me.
Yeah. And then it's like, but if I choose to go back home to live closer to home, people are going to call me a sellout. And if I say, well, guess what? I don't have a team that's closer to my home. I'll take the most money. Then they're going to say, oh, all you do it for is the money. Meanwhile, those same people are like, but I deserve a yearly raise. Fuck you.
That's why the answer is always you take your talents to South Beach.
Hell yes. As far as no, don't go to fucking Florida. Never go to Florida.
South Beach may not exist in 5 years, so it's at your own risk.
Yeah. Don't go to Florida.
I said that to a kid who went going to school at Florida, and he come back. He's like a friend of the family's. And I was like, how you like in Florida? He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I really like it down there. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm excited for it. And I was like, I'm excited to see if it still exists in a couple of years. And he was just like, what? And I was like, well, climate change, just kind of left it hanging there. And so I'm kind of like, the fuck, man? I was just like, oh. I mean, I don't know.
And speaking of places that might not exist, we had Dynamite last night in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that place might go under again.
Sea levels. Darren Katie3 is in the chat, says, woo, go Packers.
Sure.
Guess we got another...
Yeah. Cheese. I've never disliked the Packers.
Snow.
I've always thought the Packers were kind of like vanilla ice cream. No one really hates vanilla ice cream, but when you go and you're like, what's your favorite? No one's saying vanilla ice cream.
Well, and when it's at its best, vanilla ice cream can be very good, right? And when you Super Bowl.
Very good. Oh, man, so good. But when it's at its worst and the quarterback believes that 9/11 was an inside job, then you fucking hate it, right? Like, you don't want vanilla ice cream. And so that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Or if it's not that guy. He
crafts these ideas in a mushroom retreat.
Right, yeah. Oh,
ayahuasca or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, nothing could be out of the bounds of that train of thought.
I love that we're shitting on Green Bay for that, and he's not even the quarterback there anymore.
Yeah, I know. I know. But if it's not that guy, then it's another guy who then goes to his hometown and rips off the taxpayers so that his daughter can have their own volleyball court. Hey, fuck your food stamps.
And then sues Pat McAfee, who I don't have a lot of empathy for, but that's
fuck that guy. Yeah. I know Rodgers doesn't play there anymore, but I got to shit on something. What else is in Green Bay? Who plays there now? Jordan Love?
Jordan Love, I think, is the quarterback now.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs. Oh, I got a bone to pick with Josh Jacobs, by the way. So this guy was the Raiders running back, and then he's up for free agency, and he goes and signs with Green Bay. And they're like, hey, man, you signed with Green Bay. Like, was there any other suitors or, any other teams that you wanted to play for? And he's like, and then they go, what about Kansas City? And he goes, no, I like to earn it. I don't like those front runners. Meanwhile, Josh Jacobs went to, check notes, University of Alabama. Shut the fuck up that you're not a front runner when you go to Nick Saban and the University of Alabama.
Jordy Nelson is from down the road from me, from Riley, Kansas. My parents were family friends with like his family, right? They owned a bar in Riley, and my mom and sister had like a fucking music act, right? They would sing there. And yeah, hung out a couple times. I've seen Jordy Nelson's brother was fucking bigger than Jordy Nelson. And the word they always said was he just didn't want to go to college. He just was like, I want to farm. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Well, that's actually like Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets. He has two brothers, and none of them like basketball. Joker just is like, I guess I'll be the best in the world about it. But the other two are bigger than him, and anytime they're like someone gets rough with Joker, you'll see two guys immediately jump up from the crowd because they go to every of his basketball games, and then you'll see like, oh shit. Remember the Morris twins? Marcus and the other Morris, that went to Kansas, University of Kansas.
I know. Yeah.
Well, one of them, after Joker probably did something
tried
wrong
to get a cheap shot on him.
And he tried. And you saw these two fucking Russians or wherever he's from, Serbia, fucking jump up. And I was just like, oh, look, you Morris boys, you're tough. But I don't know if you're
big Serbians will disappear you, man. Or
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're gonna tie cement to someone's ankles and throw them in the river.
Speaking of foreign influence here, Tom, Shadow Play says, hey, from Ireland. Gosh, what time is it in Ireland right now?
God, I love Ireland. I love Ireland.
I have yet to be.
Oh, I love it so much.
No, we need to plan a trip over to Ireland.
That's
why you should hit the donate button at allateWrapup.com.
I love Ireland.
So me and my wife can go to Ireland and tell Tom about it.
I've already been. I love Ireland.
I know, that's why you're not going.
I love, I love Scotland. My whole British Isles honeymoon trip was just
I lived in Germany and traveled around a little bit, but never got across, the water to there. So did see like some Italy, right? Some of the Switzerland and what was the Czech Republic.
I would tell Europeans, because a lot of Americans catch a lot of shit, and I get it, especially right now. But I hear that Europeans give a lot of American shit for like not traveling, and it's like, I don't think you truly know how big America is. Like in Europe, Germany to Italy is 5 to 6 hours. You could be in Montana and travel 6 hours, and you're still in the state of Montana. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. So just sometimes when like, oh, you guys don't travel, it's like, well, bitch, what's hard?
Shadow Places. We're getting SmackDown here in Ireland in August, and I would love an AEW show here next. That does remind me, K-State football is playing a game in Ireland next year. He's playing against Iowa State. They do like a football game every year in Ireland, and so this year it's K-State and Iowa State. Farmageddon, as they call it.
Yeah, I remember Notre Dame did one in Ireland. AEW in Europe would be cool to see. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Ireland show, they're getting a crowd.
Yeah.
Those AEW crowds get rowdy already, and you throw
and those European crowds. Yeah, for any of their shows. When it was the What Culture Wrestling people, and they were doing their shit, and I know that's not Ireland, but I'm just saying Europe is in general. That would be dope. But let's talk about Dynamite.
Let's do it. It's AEW Dynamite. We've rambled so long about our personal, but we've talked about this. The show's about us. All right? Yeah. The show's about us.
Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Samoa Joe choked out John Moxley. But another thing about this cup that I got from Quick Trip.
But I went to the hardware store?
Yeah, let me tell you about this cool cup that I got. Look how big it is. Okay.
You see that traffic on the fucking 4th of
Oh my God. The construction? I can't believe it. On 35 North? That's the worst. Okay.
I love how you were like, all right, let's get to it. And I was like, no, let's slow it back down and roll it back.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Just like the traffic when you go across the state line from Missouri to Kansas. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, but talking about us, one thing we both like, Master P. And Master P kicked off last night's Dynamite. Look at that transition. I went to school for this. And not for podcasting, it was for radio, but radio is dead. Here we are, talking in a microphone, talking about wrestling. Master P, he comes out, and he goes, I want to introduce the trios champs. So before we get into the trios champs and all that fun stuff, Master P and AEW, what do you think?
Wrestling is for the old guys, and we got Master P opening the show. We'll say that, but I love it. Was enjoying myself. He's still running the same gimmick, huh? He just make him say, about it, rowdy, let's go.
Love it.
Rewind.
Former
He's
WCW talent.
He's on the Comic-Con signing tour that wrestlers do, right?
Hell
Like
yeah.
in this stage of his career, right?
He's
Yeah.
in the Tacos and Tequilas, because like Tacos and Tequilas coming here to Kansas City.
God, I forgot
and
about
it's gonna
that
be
again.
Yeah, it's gonna be Nelly and Too Short and
Fucking Too Short.
yeah.
Too short, Tom. We're going to this one. Send me the
I
fucking
already got my
link. If
tickets,
you've already
yeah.
got tickets, I'm getting. Why didn't
Yeah.
you fucking tell me we're not friends anymore?
I did.
Anymore,
I've
you'll
told
say.
you a million times. I've told you a million times. Every time you go, oh, that's fun, and then you just keep moving on to I don't know.
No.
K-State
Tell me Too
softball
Short
or
was at this
something.
year's fucking
Yeah.
K-State softball.
Here we go. We got Nelly, Timberland, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Too Short, Trina, B.O.B.,
Bone
Trick
Thugs.
Daddy, and Mims. I know.
God damn it, Tom. I already would have bought VIP for this. What the fuck are you
Trick
talking
Daddy.
about?
Trick Daddy and Trina is going to be amazing.
Did you get regular
I can't
tickets or
wait.
did you get VIP? I'm going to get what you got.
I don't remember. I think it was VIP, but I could be lying.
Are we hanging
to you.
out? Are you going with people you don't want to be seen around me with?
No. Yeah, you should totally go. But yeah,
Yeah,
Master
he's like, yeah, you
P.
should go, but go on the other side.
Yeah, go into left field. We'll be in right field. You be in left field.
For backstory, and again, we're going to get to the wrestling, I promise. This is like a 5-minute drive from my house, this venue, so I'm going to have to be there. I got to go.
Yep.
I got to go.
This is what I'll say about Master P on AEW. Is AEW is real hip hop. I like Travis Scott. Travis Scott is great. He has really good hit songs, but if you really think about it, he's more of just a pop artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have any memorable lines, right? It's just
He's not saying
bing,
something
bing,
impactful that's like,
bing,
people like,
bing.
remember when he dropped that bar and you were like, that's deep. Like,
Yeah,
nobody has
no.
said that about a Travis Scott track.
Right. And not to say that Master P has done that either, but when you have Master P, Rick
Well, now, hold on.
Ross,
Make crack like this?
I mean, hey, but when you have Master P, West Side Gun, Rick Ross, Tech Nine, like when you have the real hip hop guys, one company's just saying, who can we pay the most for to have them show up? And then the other one's saying, who will our audience actually like? Right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to see Too Short at what is seemingly a corporate sponsored event here. Is Tacos and Tequila.
Hell yeah.
I want to see what tracks we get into with Too Short here.
Oh, seeing Trina? My wife might have to avert her eyes because Trina gets down. You know what I mean? Trina gets down.
Maybe your wife wants to watch this too. Huh?
I mean, maybe, but
I mean, just avert your eyes from me watching this is what you mean. You
I've
don't
been to
wanna
a
see
Trina.
me watching
I went to a Trina concert in Atlanta. Tell you what, that was
Okay.
where I really stuck out like a sore thumb. You know what? This fucking person standing at a Trina concert in Atlanta.
Some friends and I at K-State who look a lot like, you and me, went to a black fraternity sponsored step show on campus. And we were 4 of maybe 9 white people in the entire
Yep.
venue. We really stuck out. We
Oh,
really
yeah.
stuck out on that one, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh man, I think that should be the halftime show, by the way, of the Super Bowl. Fuck let's get Drake next year. Fuck that. Get the 2 best marching bands in the country, compete in the halftime show. We vote, sponsor it by AT&T or whatever, and then the winner, the school gets $200,000 or whatever it is.
Scholarship fund, yeah.
Yeah, instead of I don't know, having old man Usher do it again. or something.
Beyonce is up again.
Yeah,
or whatever,
ooh.
yeah.
I know we're going all over the place, but that's what makes this place fun. If you don't like it, you're not fun.
You have to listen to the podcast and skip forward then. Is what
Yeah, exactly.
The live stream.
I love, speaking of Beyonce, one of my favorite moments from last year, maybe of all time, but specifically definitely of last year, was for Thanksgiving. It was the Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving game. And for the halftime entertainment, it was Beyonce, right? And she has that new country album, air quotes, because it's not really country, but the new country album out, right? And she goes, "Hey, everybody, it's so great to be here. Got a new song. It's called Texas Hold'em. And what better place to play it than here?" And the first fucking lyric is, "This ain't
Yeah.
Texas."
This ain't Texas. Yeah. Yeah, because she was
And
like,
it's-
I love being in Texas. I wrote this song. And I can't
This
think of a
ain't
better place to play
Texas.
than right here in Texas. Like the Mick Foley pop, right? Then right
Yeah.
here in Texas.
And
This
then-
ain't Texas. I was like, wait a minute, what in the fuck? Is this or is this not Texas? Tom, is this or is this not a wrestling show? This is a wrestling show. We should give the fans what they want.
All right. So Master P, like we were saying, Master P, he says, make us say,
Wrestling, that's what you think of? Yeah.
yeah. And he brings out the trios champs, Samoa Joe, Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs. Still Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought that was interesting.
Still Powerhouse Hobbs. Hook ain't even
That-
hanging out in the back with a sling or nothing.
Well, so they asked Taz, "Hey, what's up with Hook?" And Taz said he's still in New York recovering, but he will make his return at the right time, or said something I may be butchering what he said, but paraphrasing,
Sure.
at the right time. I'm telling you, I think heel Hook's coming. Oh, he should win with a heel Hook. When he,
Then
that
he's
would
the-
be
yeah.
so fucking
When he
awesome.
turns heel.
Yeah. Win with the heel Hook. Oh, that would be fun. God damn it. Hire me, Tony, you fucking idiot. But Samoa Joe, he's like, "Hey."
You interview like this always? You fucking hire me. God damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Well, especially with this energy, because guess who's matching Tony Khan with his energy? This energy. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, you're all natural.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, "Ah, I mean, me too."
Got to
He's
ship
like,
his in from Colombia, allegedly.
Yeah. I'm like, "Mine is just the anger of this fucking country," But Samoa Joe's like, "Hey, we wanted to celebrate, and what better place to celebrate than New Orleans?" Which, factual. It is a great place to celebrate anything. And so they're like, "Yeah, what's up? This is great." Cut to Marina Shafir walks down the ring, and then the Death Riders. They jump the Ops, and they're fight, and then they get the upper hand. And Master P is like giving little gut shots to John Moxley.
I was like, ooh, did he do that on his own right there?
Yeah.
I was like, we gotta worry about rappers sometimes live, because you remember,
You a big motherfucker.
right? Sometimes they go off
Yeah.
script.
Love it. And Master P felt like they didn't give him lines. They just said, "Make sure you introduce the Ops. Everything else is good." Love it. Yep. Love it. But the Ops get the upper hand. And so right as Samoa Joe is about to choke out John Moxley, the EVPs come out and they mollywop to the back of Samoa
Whack
Joe
'em.
with the chair. Whack him. And Okada's with them as well. And so we're getting the upper hand now, beating up on the Ops. Well, who comes out? Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland. And he's like, "What's up, motherfuckers? I got a chair and chain link around my neck.
Coolest motherfucker in the room.
I'm going to kill you." And they're like, "We don't want to die." And so then they run back up to the ramp, and then guess who's there? Just got done with his pickup game to 21, Kenny Omega in his basketball shorts. And he's like, "Hey, I got upper body. Don't look at my calves. Upper body." And he's walking, and he's like, "Huh?" And they go, "Oh shit." And then they all, the Death Riders and EVPs, jump through the crowd, run through the crowd. So what'd you think
Run
of the
away.
whole commotion?
Clusterfuck is what I thought. Now, not necessarily bad, right? But it was a lot. Right? We did. We're here. We're there. We're this. We're that. And we've said, we like the blending of stories and stuff, and people crossing paths. So, it was kind of this, right? Kind of, but it was, it was hype. It got a lot of folks in here. It got us kind of going with a lot of action. Everybody's running every which way, so it wasn't terrible. I think it was fine.
The only thing that I want a little bit more of is, if you read between the lines, you can
Hangman.
kind of already tell that they're going to do, Hangman.
Man.
But you can kind of tell that they're going to do Kenny Omega and Okada. But I still don't 100% know why Omega and Okada don't like each other right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, I get it, their history and all of that, but like, they've been in the company at the same time for a while. Why now is it we're gonna fight each other?
Sometimes,
You know what I mean?
it's just somebody you don't like, and then on the wrong day, I just really don't like you.
Well, I think
Probably
maybe
thought that
that's what
about
they
me
need
a
to say. Well, that's what they maybe need to say. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid spider. I don't fuck with them spiders. Longtime listeners know.
Yeah.
I almost
Spider
died
might get
once.
you.
I almost died. The other thing I thought about
go
with
to the
this,
hospital though when you have reactions. That's what.
Okay. Oh yeah, go to the hospital.
You were like, they told me possibly fatal no less than 3 times in the hour I was there.
They did.
Yeah, 'cause you were
That was
fucking
pretty
sold.
scary. Yeah, that was pretty scary. And I still fought him on that too. I was like, I'm not, I'm fine. And then they're like, you might have died.
Get that
Okay,
needle
all right.
out of me.
Yeah. All right, well, you got me now. Going back to this opening segment, the thing I thought is, are we getting blood and guts, Team Ops, Swerve, and Kenny Omega versus EVPs
I
and the
forgot
Death
about blood
Riders?
and guts. That's where this is going, I think. Then yeah, right? Because if we force blood and guts every year, you have to have a team, and nobody else is teaming up, I would think, right? Like right now,
Yeah,
in this
it's
kind of
just
time frame.
the only thing that I'm nervous about, I would say, is I don't know how many times we can see Kenny Omega and John
Bucks.
Moxley
Yeah.
in some type of extreme hardcore match. Like, they've been doing this shit since day one. You know what I mean? And they already did a blood and guts
Moxley,
once.
it's his playground.
Yeah, but like,
He'll do the blood and the guts, all of it.
so maybe if you don't have him, because then you could do Yuta, Claudio, Okada, and the Bucks. So that's 5. And then you would do Powerhouse Hobbs, Shibata, Swerve, Kenny Omega, and then Samoa Joe.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was thinking
that fits.
But then Moxley's out of it, right? Moxley wouldn't be in it, but he's the heavyweight champion. So you could say he's going to face, because they're doing Samoa Joe versus John Moxley in like a couple weeks, like spring break or whatever their show's called, right? So interesting. Now, going back to that, Samoa Joe said, with respect, the way this segment ended is, with respect to whose house it is, and then he looked over at Swerve. He goes, it's nice to see you, Swerve. But Moxley, you want to fight me? Now you got me. I'll be taking back my world championship. And he looks over at Swerve. Are we getting round 2?
Who took that title off Samoa Joe? I know you remember, you were there. You sent me those
so
clips.
So were you.
Seeing those clips, and all I could watch for was, where am I in the crowd? Where am I in the crowd?
Well, your shirt is what you could see. Because you wore a fun shirt. You didn't wear a black wrestling t-shirt. You wore that fun shit. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes you got to risk putting all of your personal financial information on the internet and get something from China that's like not common,
I know. God, I still hate that we do that. I still prefer to go in person and pay a bill. I don't like it. People make fun of me, and I'm like, no, fuck that.
It's definitely not as there's so much more experience, right?
Well, you could easily just take my money and then erase the transaction and then say I owe it still, and then what the fuck am I gonna do, right? I make you fucking say you did it, and I see it, Anyhow, hey, Renee Paquette's backstage.
You got the 20 in your hand, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Renee Paquette's backstage, and she's with the patriarchy. And long story short, here, Christian says, hey, you should be thanking me. I got you the fucking match. And Nick Wayne is saying, if you follow a plan, look what happens. You actually win championships. Now, Christian Cage also says, me and your mom fucked all night, basically, or, all that kind of stuff. But what'd you think of this whole thing?
We celebrated extensively that evening, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I liked all of this. So he pulls the title off him. Now, you'll remember he did that with Kill Switch, right? Where he was, I'm the champ, right? When they won it, right? And I like that Nick Wayne didn't just fall back into Stockholm Syndrome here, right? And believe the bullshit. And that Christian was like, well, then fucking here.
And then he said,
says,
I love my family. Yeah, he goes, I love my family. The only thing I would have done.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The only thing I would have done differently, just to add a little bit more to that line, is switch in the back, Kip Sabian and Mother Wayne, switch them. And then when he says it, have him like hit her ass or like give her a side hug. That would have made it over the top. You know what I mean?
Pull her in tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have her kind of smirk a little, be like, no, let's not
I
do
love
that
my
now.
son. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not now. It's inappropriate to say it now.
But again, the person that I'm interested in, because it doesn't seem like we know which way they're going to go, is Kip Sabian. He's just sitting there with his toothpick, just kind of like playing at neutral.
In the history of this podcast is the person I'm interested in is Kip Sabian.
Well, when he had the thing, it was kind of interesting for a week, with the box on his head. When he was, he was like a Cleveland Browns fan. Yeah.
No, but I get what you're saying here. He is kind of the he's sticking out here is like he could teeter this power either way here.
Mm-hmm. So gun to your head, figuratively, obviously not literally. Which side do you think Kip Sabian sides
I feel like
with?
Kip Sabian, the question I have ultimately then is this long-term storyline or is this going to happen quick fire? If it's going to happen, the dissolution of this family quick fire, then he's going to side with Nick Wayne somehow. But the character feels more like he would side with Christian because it felt like he wasn't there necessarily for Nick Wayne. He was there for like the patriarchy, the family,
Yep. Right. Yeah. I think the better play is because I still think we're going to make Christian, even though obviously this promo would not lead you to any way of thinking of this, but I still think we're going to get Christian be sympathetic somehow. I think potentially maybe Nick Wayne starts to puff his chest out. He starts to like the smell of his own shit. So does his mother
Christian
and then
Cage.
Kip Sabian, right? And then I think you could have Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne because Nick Wayne's not going to be the ROH forever champion, right? So you could have a tag team 6 months from now, 8 months from now of Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. Because if you just have one of those guys solo right now, I don't know if that does a lot, but Christian could obviously be by himself and be
Call
fine.
them prodigal sons and even be a nod back to the,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think what you do there is you have them then concertoing Christian to the point where Adam Copeland comes out and he's like, hey, no. Right? Like, that's our fucking, that's like, as much as I hate him, like, that's not, you don't do my thing, right? Like, enough, right? Like, enough. You've done enough, right? And they're like, fuck you too. And then we get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to be Copeland and Christian going after FTR. FTR, we'll talk about in a moment. But before we get to FTR,
Copeland and Christian feel like they need to be heel. I know we're going to cheer it when it happens, but like, God.
Trust me, the veterans, there are certain exceptions, but generally speaking, I feel veterans are better heels. CM Punk, who refuses to do it because whatever the fuck is a better heel. Copeland is a better heel. John Cena, even though Christian Cage is amazing. John Cena, I guess, is like people are loving this heel stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, be heel. Build up the baby.
Cena was good at what he did. And no doubt if he wanted to be a heel, I'm sure he could be a serviceable heel, and especially over there. You know what I mean?
I read he got a hair transplant, so I wanted to see what that looks like. I should probably check out. Yeah,
because he had that fucking big.
I guess he doesn't anymore. Yeah. But someone who does have a bald spot because he's fucking bald is Ricochet. God, are you seeing these transitions, mother?
If you got paid by the transition, you'd be a billionaire.
I got paid by the transitions. I could buy an action figure. But it's Ricochet taking on Mark. Taking on Mark Briscoe, fellow bald man, and they have a good wrestle here.
Yeah, we're making fun of Ricochet during the match with signs about bald, but not Mark Briscoe. No, we're not doing it. Yeah.
Well, there was a moment that Ricochet talks to. I think I've seen him on social media. But the older black guy who's also bald with a beard, and they're
yeah. He's
like,
like
hey,
a TikTok
man,
guy. Yeah.
yeah, and Ricochet's like, he's bald, and the other guy's like, yeah, he's bald. Like, so there was that. Someone at least pointed it out. But I thought the interesting thing here is Mark Briscoe beats Ricochet. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think this is fine on some of these throwaway matches where, like, right, Ricochet wasn't getting this match, so we knew he'd get a solid win over Mark Briscoe and elevate himself to a title shot or anything, right? And so why not, like, let Mark Briscoe still look like he can actually rope-a-dope a little and actually get some wins, right? He's not just out there to be the conglomeration and lose every match, right?
Because I think if you wrote it down on paper, if memory serves me correct, from the last Continental Classic tournament, Mark Briscoe beat Will Ospreay. So if you write it down on paper and say Mark Briscoe beat Ospreay and Ricochet, hey, motherfucker, this guy might be the shit.
The best triple threat in the history of the world coming then.
There it is, that'd be fun.
Ospreay, Ricochet, Mark Briscoe, which honestly, I bet they could put on a pretty entertaining pay-per-view match.
Oh, yeah. But post-match, after Ricochet loses, he says, well, I'm going to kill this guy. And he's got scissors, and he's going to fucking murder Mark Briscoe. And who comes out to stop him before he does? The Jet. I didn't know that was his nickname, but the Jet, Kevin Knight. And Ricochet runs up the ramp and is like, you motherfucker, and Kevin Knight's like, hey, Mark Briscoe's my friend. Fuck you, buddy. Well, what do you think about Kevin Knight, Ricochet? You interested in this?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I think we'll get a lot of flips, right? With that. That'll be a flippy boy palooza match.
Although I will say, at least this iteration in AEW, Ricochet isn't doing a ton of the boom, 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 boom. I jump off these ropes.
It is not spot for spot's sake. I'll give you that, right? Like, it's not everything. There's actual wrestling going on. Yeah, I don't mean to downplay what they're doing.
Yeah. But Kevin Knight does feel like right now he's doing the, you know what I can do? I can turn in midair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
these guys have got no fear of, like, I might land and break my elbow on this. Nah,
totally fine. Yep.
Just go with it.
Hey, so next
People
up,
want to see the triple spinning over your ball sack plancha dive on Collision.
Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and get it keyed up there, Tim, because before FTR could walk out to the ring, they have a new agent.
Oh, yes. Whoa, which one? Where?
Big Stoke.
Forgot about the Big Stoke.
Stokely Hathaway.
Big Stoke.
Walks down in a red jumpsuit because he's Stokely Hathaway. And he goes, hey, let's just talk about kind of the elephant in the room. I'm the new agent. FTR, which this is a valid point. FTR shouldn't have been fined for pushing Tony Schiavone when Hangman's burning down houses. A segment before this, Ricochet's trying to kill someone with scissors. So I'm going to get that stuff out off your record and refunded for the fines that you paid. I like that.
Yeah.
And then basically FTR grabs the microphone and they say, hey, Rock and Roll Express, get in here, and does the, you're old, you're not as good as you used to be. And long story short, they pile drive Rock and Roll Express, beat up one of them. What do you think about FTR beating up? This is the second time they've done this, right?
Yeah.
They did this during the pandemic when they were heels, and they pile drove Ricky Morton. So I don't. Yeah. Why did we do that again?
Don't those guys still actively wrestle too?
Ricky Morton does. I don't think Gibson does, but I think Ricky Morton does. Right. I think Ricky Morton's in GCW.
Jesus, he's gonna be Terry Funk style, isn't he?
Hell yeah.
Go until he dies.
Yeah.
But he should he should change it, right? Then let's lose the rockers gimmick and let's fucking.
Have you seen their Hey EW episode? The Rock and Roll Express, when they're like, we would have had Monster, but we didn't have that back then, so we did drugs. Like the only reason.
That is an exercise in the. If you want to see the genius of RJ City, because they're in on the gag to some extent, but they're also not, right? They're kind of out. And RJ City smoothly transitions between fucking with them when they're not and guiding them when they're aware and in on it into one of the most hilarious, serviceable interviews I've ever seen. It's insane.
But
it's insane. He's so fucking good. Is RJ
but Ricky
City.
Morton saying that If there would have been
Yeah.
Monster, we wouldn't have done drugs.
Drugs. Yeah, that's great. It was wonderful.
What a st-
Yeah. Oh, there's so many gold like one-liners in there, and even RJ City had to make them clarify it a couple times. Like, wait a minute, are you saying whatever? And they're like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Well, because they asked him, or he asked him, he goes, what drugs did you guys do in the 80s? He goes, all of them that existed. Like,
Yeah.
we would have done it if it would have existed back then, paraphrasing or something. But yeah, they were,
Yeah.
they were great.
Yeah, they were short of being like, why? What you holding? You got
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. So FTR, they do the spike pile driver. And then Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong chase them off. What is with these guys? The Paragon.
Well, and I'm a little upset because that's a trio, right? But FTR, they're not wrestling with Stokely from what I'm to understand, but maybe they are. But like, it seemed like they were wanting to get back to the tag team stuff. So maybe
that's the challenge.
O'Reilly
the challenge is
whatever.
The Paragon says we'll face the three of you, and Stokely's like, yeah, and FTR's like, wait, what? No,
Raggedy bitch.
but I just, the sickos on social media, they made a post on Instagram asking about Adam Cole and saying like, hey, at one time he was the coolest guy, but now that doesn't feel like that's the case. Will he ever get back to it? I don't think so. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. No, there's nothing. Look, again, without changing something, you can't keep coming out and doing the boom and like everybody check out my Twitch stream and have us care anymore, right? Like it's just done.
Yeah, and then the other two, I know
the costume
everyone
guy stole your fucking gimmick and you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, maybe they beat them up. That would be the only thing that would make them interesting if they beat that guy up for stealing the fucking thing.
Take
right?
back the boom.
Yeah.
But then you shit on that guy and he can't, like, maybe if they're like, hey, listen, we're going to end the agreement because, your fucking TikTok numbers are down or whatever. But, like, listen, one last thing, one last payday. And all right, fine. Yeah. And go out there and get squashed by Adam Cole.
But even you got Kyle O'Reilly, who's just
Adam Cole's going to beat up your kid. Like, all right, fine.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll love it. But Kyle O'Reilly, I've just never been in on Kyle O'Reilly. I know we had something for a moment in time, which was awesome, but we went away from it. But Roderick Strong and his neck Strong, where are those two guys? Where's the guys that hung around Roderick Strong?
They're out. I think they're not in the AEW anymore. They might still be doing ROH stuff, but I don't think so. I think they're gone.
I forgot their names.
Taven and Bennett.
Okay. You could have said Abbott and Costello. I would have believed you.
Yep.
Yeah, but
after I said it, I was like, did I say those right? I was like worried I transposed them. So.
But yeah,
like,
these three guys.
What the fuck are these names?
These three guys, I don't know. Like, you want to make FTR look cool, have them feud with guys that are nerdier than them.
And listen, I know you guys made this announcement that like we're a faction now, but like you just like changing the name wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
Like, no, we got different T-shirts that say Paragon instead of Undisputed Kingdom. Like, cool.
Well, and where's Wardlow? What the fuck is he doing? Isn't he hanging around?
I don't mind.
I know, but still, like, I don't know.
But yeah, like I don't know what that is, and yeah, they could have just ended it there with FTR being heels and Stokely. I'm interested to see more of that. Is that long term? Is he going to be with them week in and week out? Because I hope so. He adds a different layer, and I think some of their backstage segments will be a little less boring, right? If that makes sense. I don't want to shit on them too much, but
well, yeah, because they do great. They can be great heels in matches. But their promos are kind of going to always be the same.
You know what? They're too much of the same note. They're the same guy, right? Yeah. Like they're both just, gosh darn, I work hard and you know what I mean? Just want for my life, and all that. It's like great.
Yeah.
But Stokely is not that.
He can add so much to it. So excited to see what that'll look like. But then let's get back into some in-ring action. For the first time since the start of color television, we get the EVPs in action. They're taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. When was the last time the EVPs competed in a match? It feels like it's been a year.
Yeah.
I'm blind.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Well, they lost to Private Party. So that wasn't that long, but like 6 months ago, maybe 8 months,
Yeah, I don't
something
know.
like that.
It's been a bit. It's been
Yeah.
a while.
But they're taking on Speedball Mike Bailey and the Jet. Could see him twice this night. The Jet, Kevin
Team
Knight.
Jetball, says
Yeah.
Dan 83, and that's the name. We could go with that.
Did you
Team
see?
Jetball.
Speaking of Hey EW, did you see Mike Bailey's Hey EW
I
episode?
did not see Mike Bailey's Hey EW yet. Was it good?
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
They're all good, but yeah.
But yeah, of course.
You
But
have to be. I've told you the foot decision. It'd be one thing to get in the ring with your bare foot, but like I feel like I'd be wearing something out there. You've seen these arena floors. That is a wrong decision, man. Don't.
But also,
don't do it. They might wash over that arena floor with a Zamboni once a fucking quarter. Don't.
He has a lot of what's his name in AEW? His WWE name was Evan Bourne. But what was his name?
Matt Seidel or Mike?
Matt Seidel. Right? Yeah, Mike Seidel. Matt or Mike, one of them.
Yeah, right.
He has a strong, but Mike Bailey has a very strong Matt Seidel vibe where it's like,
okay, all right,
okay, bud. Hey, I
very
love,
nice. But then they say something, you're like, I'm sorry, what? You're into what? I'm not.
It's like, hey, I love that you're a champion for people who lifestyles are not considered traditional, but also
keep it weird.
I don't. But yeah, but
you're
like,
weird.
I don't.
Keep it weird, but keep it over there, my guy.
You stay on that side of the ring, okay? And then Kevin,
there's got to be a weird buffer zone. You know what I'm saying? I'm too
Yeah.
not weird enough, right? More power to you. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But this is for our protection, buddy. We're gonna
You go over there. And then Kevin Knight, who look, Swerve Strickland, coolest guy in pro wrestling. You keep having Kevin Knight tell me that his favorite place is, the strip club. Kevin Knight might be the coolest guy.
He's got a swagger. Kevin Knight is pretty cool. I'm going to give you that.
You get the glasses.
You walk in, you're like, all right, who's that cool motherfucker? What's this guy doing?
Visually who he could go well with if they wanted to do trios action is the Outrunners. Because he's got the big Oakleys. He's got the stuff. They could just be flexing like they're, fucking cool.
Yeah, he's actually suave and cool. And they're fucking running around, doing all the shit. Yeah.
They're doing like the 80s stuff. They bring out cardboard and he's like, what the fuck is this? And they try to do like break
they
dancing.
can scream in their promos like the 80s and it can be like, word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. So this tag team match, though.
Great idea. That's better than Jetball. I'm going to be honest.
Right? Yeah. Mike Bailey.
Hire Tony or hire Tom, Tony.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Mike Bailey. Sure. Kevin Knight, though. Cool. So we get a good tag team match. We get all the fun spots of a EVP's match, right? We get the Meltzer driver. We get a kick, and a kick, and a kick, and a kick, and a fall down, and then run off the ropes and this and the
Oh, we got a super kick.
Oh yeah, got to get those in.
At least one. At least one super kick in there.
Yep. But the finish.
I remember one call I noticed in the match when it was Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros. That for Excalibur, it was a super kick when the Young Bucks did it, and it was a thrust kick when the Lucha Bros did it. I was like, nice. Like he was always on point. He never mixes up. I was like, all right, good job.
That's good. Yeah.
Same fucking thing, but yeah.
No. It's a thrust kick, and then there's a super kick.
Right, but there's a super kick. Right.
Yeah.
There's a party involved, or there's not.
Yeah. So the finish though comes after the EVPs take out Speedball. Then it's 2-on-1. Kevin Knight, though, gets the advantage right before, though, he could seize it on the moment. Ricochet comes out and grabs his foot. EVPs capitalize on the distraction. And then Ricochet's like, you bitch.
The
Just
visuals
like running
of
back.
that.
Yeah.
Like where he's first leaning over him, and then when the Young Bucks are like doing their like, yeah, we just want sitting up. He's in the back in the middle of them, cheese grinning the whole time.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
He's great.
He is so good at this. Man, when, it's the hot thing online for people to debate the overuse of the term fumbled, but it does seem like they fumbled not using Ricochet at all in any kind of character-driven thing in WWE. Like, what the fuck? This is golden. This is some of the best stuff in wrestling right now is Ricochet's character.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm more than happy that he's doing this in AEW, but the idea that like you didn't think about having this version of Ricochet versus Kevin Owens, like that right there would have been amazing. You know what I mean? But like, yeah.
Justin Floor is in the chat. He says, "What's up, boys? It's been too long." I agree. It's been too long. You see more of Justin Floor, I guess, than I do, but
unfortunately, yeah, I hear from him a lot.
You were like, too
but
long,
I hear
huh?
from yeah.
I wish you would have won.
No, honestly, I feel so bad. I am.
You've always said nothing but great things about Justin.
Well, no, but I'm 1,000,000% the guy that's like, hey, do you got a quick second? Because I'm like, I don't want to type this out. I'd rather just fucking say it. And so I know I irritate the piss out of him when I'm like, hey man, quick question for you. And he's like, he's the nicest, you know? And I'm like,
fine, Tom, I'll stop what I'm doing and get on.
Yeah.
I like doing that too. Like, sometimes I'm like, this is a lot to type back and forth and like,
yeah. Or just like, can you just look at this? You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, he'll join a call, but he'll like have the radio on and he'll have to like pause it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You probably wanted to hear that.
Well, certainly he was listening to the podcast and you interrupted.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, I heard my voice and I was like, that's weird. Hey, thanks, also. Man. Yeah, you know, but yeah. He hits resume after I'm done with the call.
Yeah. From what I'm told, it's the only thing he listens to. He just like listens to the same one on repeat until the new one comes out.
That's what he's always told me. But Kevin Knight Ricochet, I like this. This seems like maybe, not to say that Ricochet and Swerve wasn't awesome, because it was, because we got the crazy Ricochet and we kind of got the birth of what we see now out of that. But this seems like it might be more fun, where with Swerve, again, coolest guy in the room, but his feuds feel more like till the death. You know what I mean?
And something, right?
Yeah.
Like we are, yeah.
With Kevin Knight and Ricochet.
This isn't just about like, I'm going to be better for you and I'm going to get a title shot next, right? No, this is like, bitch, you dare think you're better than me? We're proving this right now.
Yeah. This might be a little lighthearted in comparison to Ricochet Swerve, which, hey, at the mid-card level, I think that's great. Okay, so we go backstage. Renee is talking to Timeless Tony Storm. And first off, she fucking gets it, guys and girls. Like, she's going to be going to a TCM, Turner Classic Movies, movie event with Ben Makowitz. How is she getting a home run on every fucking thing that she's doing? Like, no one's just good. Like, hey, Tony, can you just tell me what you're doing and I'll apply it to my character? And if I'm a rock guy, I'll go to Rock Fest or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, she fucking murders.
And yeah, the one thing I would be doing is like, no, it's that Turner Classic Movies.
But you don't know
thing that you.
He's the best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, time for classic movies.
His father wrote Citizen Kane. His grandfather wrote Citizen Kane. Have you not seen Citizen Kane? You have a broadcasting degree. You never had to watch that in any of your classes?
If we did, I certainly don't remember it, so I couldn't have been thinking. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane fucking rules.
Wonder why I'm still not in the broadcast industry, man.
Yeah. 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 You didn't get to the spot where it's like entry level, but then I've not evolved with the industry, so they kicked me out too. They're like, yeah, fuck you, okay, man. We heard enough about Citizen Kane. Fuck these new movies, Fast and Furious. That's bullshit. You know, like, they've made 10 already. Oh, okay. Where was
10 of those fucking things, haven't they? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? That is such an indictment on this country. Yeah. You think Trumpism is bad.
I haven't seen any one of those either, so that if that makes you feel better.
Oh, I saw the first one in high school. I thought the first one was fucking cool. And then the second one I vaguely remember. Then the Tokyo Drift one, I was like, Bow Wow, I ain't in on that. And that's when I stopped. When they had Tokyo Drift.
Did one of the guys die in a car wreck like that's in those movies? So that,
Live the gimmick.
The Paul Walker.
Yep.
That's who it was, right? The ladies
love
the Paul Walker.
I just love that Vin Diesel thinks like he's some type of like cultural figure from a car racing movie.
Yeah, like if I try to tell my kids the name Vin Diesel, they'd be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. They wouldn't.
But if you showed them a picture, they would know Fast and Furious.
Maybe not. Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
My
You
son
know
never
he
watches
does
TV.
music.
It is YouTube. YouTube, if something's up running, it's YouTube.
Me too.
Yeah.
Love YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I love
But
it
that's his
because
whole
I have
life.
it.
So he has
Yeah.
no reference for things. Like if I mention old movies, like I don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, here's why it's awesome, and it also could be a little bit scary, is because it gets it down to a T of what it thinks you want to
What
see.
you are. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you're
So for a long time, his videos were, so he'd be playing a game and then he'd have video up of somebody else playing that same fucking game, right? And like he'd just kind of be dividing attention between both. I was like, yeah, all right.
I get it to a certain extent, especially like if you can't beat the final boss or something, you know what I mean? Like I
Sure.
get that, but
No, but these were just like kind of the rolling
Yeah.
live streams that people do.
Yeah,
And he would
just
just be like, I'd be like, is it the same games? And he'd be like, yeah.
like,
It was just
he doesn't
like,
know
anyway.
you. Yeah, but he doesn't know you. You're watching
Yeah.
him, but he ain't watching you. So you guys aren't hanging out. So
I
but
gotta
also,
say, there is some entertaining characters that I've seen him watching that play some of the random games that they find online and just kind of crack on them. There's
Yeah.
some good shit out there. I'll say that.
But I will say that's also a bad part about YouTube, because if you get stuck in your own echo chamber, you're not exposed to things that'll make you a better human. And maybe that's where
Has
you
it
get Joe
exposed you to
Rogan.
something that you didn't realize you'd like? Where you're like, really? I didn't fucking think of that.
Oh, sumo. That's how I got into sumo.
Yeah.
Is there was a video of my guy Ura, and he did a fucking tuck under the armpit of his opponent, push back. The guy goes out of the ring, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. And then just trickled
You know
in,
what
and now
it-
I'm a sumo guy.
It gave to me that I found that I liked that I didn't think I would. And I think it's through because, I live on this property. And so I'd often like Google and YouTube, like, how do I, whatever, right? Like fix this or do this, whatever. Now it's sending me a bunch of those videos of like, guy builds fucking stone house with nothing but his bare hands in the forest. And it's like, really? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, that's neat. I'm like,
Maybe. Another thing that it gave me, we'll get back to wrestling. Another thing though that it gave me was the hot ones. I got early in on the hot ones thing.
Yep.
I got in on it
Yep.
when DJ Khaled couldn't get through the wings. He quit. He was like, I'm out, guys. I'm out. And I'm like,
Nice.
now you look back and you're like, you fucking pussy. Like Selena
No,
Gomez
and another
did
one,
this.
man.
Yeah, but like Selena Gomez did this and you couldn't.
Can't be. Yeah, you can't be the guy who says and another one and then
Yeah.
quit something like
Yeah.
hot ones, you dumbass.
You dumbass.
They should have him do Lay's potato chips and see that. Like, and another one. Right? Like, bet you can't eat just one. See, guys, hire us. We got all the
I know.
decisions.
Literally just run every decision by us and we'll fucking make this world better.
All of them. Yeah, all of them.
All decisions.
Yep. From the hours
If
of 8
you
to 5.
need a
then
decision-
we're-
If you need a decision, right? If you're sitting on the fence, send us an email. We'll read it on the podcast and
Tom,
we'll
I
fucking
have
give you the life
begged
advice.
the crowd, if you're listening to my voice right now, if you need advice from people who you probably shouldn't get advice from, send us an email to aewrapup@gmail.com. I know this is a wrestling show, but ask away. Lived a
Obviously,
lot of life.
Obviously, we are well versed. We read a lot of big books. Look at these big fucking books that I'm reading, huh? You
And
read
I'll
a
tell
big
you
book
what,
that
I
big?
don't have any near me. I'm in the basement. But listen, I will tell you this, man. Like, we know things. We got advice.
Yeah, look at that.
We're gonna set you straight.
Yeah,
You know
look
what
at
else?
this. Oh,
We love ourselves.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we love
Love
ourselves.
me.
I love everything
Love me.
about my life. You know what I mean? So, like,
Everything
if you
about
want
my
advice on how to love your life,
Look at
Ask
that. I'm
away.
well versed in art. Look at that. Look at the artwork I have, huh? Huh? So ask us. Ask us anything. Ask us anything.
Yeah, aewrapup@gmail.com. That's not AEW wrapup@gmail.com. Some people mess that up. You gotta remember what the AEW stands for, right? So it's AE wrapup@gmail.com. See how that works?
Hell yeah. Hey, so Tony Storm versus
Ask
Queen
away.
Aminata will take place at Collision. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. I
Next
can't
up,
remember what she said that Queen Amanda was like, what? And even
Yeah,
I think Renee was just kind of like, whatever, just you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, just we're everything's good. We got a match. We're good to go. Next up, we get some more talking, but this was fun. So we get the Hurt Syndicate walking out. We hurt people. We hurt people, right? And they're coming out. And what do we get? MVP, he talks his shit. And then he hands the microphone to old Bob Lashley. And before he could talk, guess what happens? Vroom, vroom. MJF comes pulling up, and then it's so lowbrow stupid, but it still made me giggle when he says, "Keep it
Yeah.
running. Here's a tip." Hits him in the dick, and then goes, "What a douche."
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Like well, that guy's a douche. Yeah.
That's great. So he comes into the arena, MJF that is, and he goes, "All right, we know what we're doing here. Let's do it again. All right, let's do the thumbs up." And then MVP goes, "You guys know where I'm at?" Boom. And then Shelton Benjamin does the looks over at Lashley, boom, and MJF almost shits himself. He's like, "I got a thumbs up." He's fucking excited, excited,
He does. He
excited.
almost jumps out of the ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he looks at Bobby Lashley and he goes, "Bob, one thing. Look, let's just get on the same page here. I can help you. You can help me. I
Yeah,
haven't been the
I'm better
nicest
at
to
a
you."
bunch of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I haven't been the nicest to you and all that. And I'm sorry." The crowd is chanting, apologize or
Yeah.
whatever. Say you're
Say
sorry.
you're
or whatever.
sorry or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm sorry." And then, like, fine, Then he also says, "And another thing. Because I gave Shelton a watch, I'll give you that car." So they all walk down to see the fucking car. And we get
Well,
to
that's
the
good on
car.
Bobby because it's like, oh, you're gonna give me the car? Show me the keys. I want to make sure you don't got the fucking Enterprise rental tag on that
Yeah.
motherfucker. You know what I
Right.
mean? Enterprise.
Yeah, and yeah. And so they're going, and Shelton and Bobby get in, and Bobby does the side thumb, and then and takes off. He almost fucking runs into the gate. That would have been so dumb if he would have fucked that
I
up.
thought that's what they were gonna do, but I was like, they're not gonna purposely crash this vehicle, right? So
Yeah.
they'll have to like cut screen to this.
Yeah.
And so right when he first started doing that, I was like, oh shit. And then,
Yeah. It got a little scary
I
there
know.
for a second.
I thought he was just gonna be
Um,
like, yeah, let's fucking wham. Oops, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been the way to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been the way to pull it off. One thing to note, though, that I forgot to say to you, I don't know if you caught this during the promo, is Shelton Benjamin said something to the effect of, "I didn't give you a thumbs up for some broads and a watch." And then someone in the crowd said, "You should have."
Shut up. That person all night was was throwing zingers all night.
Yeah.
I was like, did Tom go to this fucking show list?
I know. I want to find if next time they come, if I can find that seat, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna. Hey, wrap up. Just get. Hey, wrap up. That comment. That's fun.
As you're getting drugged at.
Yeah. Hey, wrap up. Holy wrap up. And then Bobby and Shelton, they drive off, and then MVP says something to the effect
Cool
of,
it.
again, you show
time.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show us all that. And then we go to our
right? Yeah.
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 And then we go to our next backstage segment. And this is where I almost shit myself out of excitement. Renee's talking to Hangman Adam Page. And Hangman says, when I see Kyle Fletcher, I'm going to kick his ass. And then he seems distracted. Like he keeps looking over. And he goes, fine. Like basically, come on in here. And it's MJF. Oh, we ain't done. Now, I think the point of this essentially is, hey, we're 1-1. We'll wrestle again in the future.
Yeah.
But what did you take from this?
My favorite line of that was MJF was like, hey, Hangman, I see you. I like your new haircut. I love how it looks like you found your wife at a family reunion. He's the fucking best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how he still calls him Seabiscuit. I just like just the whole yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So
like none of that like mutual respect for each other stuff do we get with these two. It is just complete scorn and disgust.
And essentially it's like we're gonna run this back sooner rather than later. Because even
don't forget about us.
Yeah, because even Hangman says, like, why do you want to join? Like, what the fuck? Like, you idiot. And MJF is like, I'll cut the line while you're in a tournament and I'm smarter than you. So, yeah, we'll get to see that here shortly. All right. Then we get into some in-ring action, and we get some tag team action on the way. It's the Don Callis family, newest member Josh Alexander and Takeshita, taking on Will Ospreay and Brody King. I was about to say someone who they're dropping the ball with. All that momentum in the Continental Classic, and now it feels like we're kind of going back. No.
Yeah, I agree. I know.
And so we get a wrestle, right? Wrestle, 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 wrestle. And I believe it was Josh Alexander hits his finisher on Brody King with the assistance from Takeshita. They get the win. Then they're not done. So they're going to kick their ass some more. Punch, 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 kick, kick, kick. Kyle Fletcher comes down. He's like, obviously, I'm going to beat Hangman and I'm going to beat up Will Ospreay.
All pinked out, too, to just add to his douchiness. Yeah.
And so he's going to start to beat up Will Ospreay and Brody King. And then who walks out? Oh, shit. It's cowboy shit time. Hangman walks out and he's going to say, I told you I was going to kick this guy's ass and I'm a man of my word. So he's walking down. But before he could even get to the ring, Trent and Rocky Romero jump him because they're the two newest members of the Don Callis family. And we get a beatdown. What do you think about this?
The Don Callis family doubled last week, and so it's hard to remember that, right? But, yeah, it's just, if that's the game they're playing, then why aren't they taking over everything, right? Because they're rolling 8 deep or some shit now, aren't they?
Well, because you also got the Hurt members too, right? Because Brian Cage, he's in there. He's probably going to come back. Thumbs up to me for remembering that. And then you got
the murder machines, right?
Yeah, and then you got the fucking bus driver looking guy. What's his name?
It was Mark something.
Marky Mark
Davis.
Mark. Yeah, there it is.
Mark Davis.
They should call him the big
third
dumper.
Baseman for the Houston Astros in '84.
Yeah. They should call him the big dumper because how big his ass is. You know what I mean? He wears that big ass black diaper. Let's call him the big dumper. That's what I'd do. Old big dumper.
That's exactly, They, not all ideas are home runs, Tony, if you're considering hiring Tom. But
by the way, no, it is. But we'd have to trademark it before the Seattle Mariners do because it's Cal Raleigh, their catcher's nickname. You know what I'm saying? Big dumper, steal that. Big dumper in wrestling.
So I thought of this idea, and you tell me how quickly AEW would get sued if Matt Menard comes out with a new gimmick where he's like a hitman for hire. You want somebody taken out, you call Matt Menard. But the benefit is he's cheaper than everybody because, as you know, you save big money with Menard.
Oh, that's great. Yes. Just add, because Menards is with an S. If you take off that S and say
be like, that's not the same thing, guy.
Yeah. Your is a store of many locations. This is just one individual. It's not the same.
Yeah. This bun has no seeds.
Yeah. And then it was announced May 14th, Beach Break. I apologize. That's the name of the event. Beach Break.
It will be Breakthrough. Beach Break.
Right. It will be Jon Moxley defending the AEW Championship against Samoa Joe. So, Tim, now maybe something happens and we get a rematch, but that means that at the next pay-per-view, we don't have a title challenger for Jon Moxley as of right now.
Yeah, so you're just staking now Moxley beats Joe.
Or
I feel the same way.
But it could be, Yuta low blows him, so then Joe says no DQ.
Yeah, but you don't think Joe's coming away with his title. In fact, he was the person to beat Moxley last, wasn't he? Was Joe?
No. Samoa. Oh, well, yes, the last person
to
beat him.
The last person to take the
Moxley
title.
lost. Moxley lost the title to MJF, and then MJF lost it to Joe, and then Joe lost it to Swerve, and Swerve lost it to Danielson.
I forgot
and
the
Danielson
MJF in between. That's
right. And then Danielson lost it to Moxley. Look at that history just off the top of my head.
Big brain Tom.
Big fucking brain. That's why I wear a hat, so you motherfuckers have a chance.
Forgot to bring my keys when I tried to go to work today, but
yeah.
But I remember this.
Yeah, I wear this hat for your safety, not mine. Keep my brain in here so you motherfuckers don't feel so stupid. Then we get to the main event. It's
wear
the
this hat to
women.
keep my brain in. Otherwise, it'll spill out everywhere, and then I can fit through the doorway, and it hurts. I'm doing this for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, we get a main event of the women. The Excel spreadsheet got flipped
We've done
around.
this a bunch lately. I feel like
I know. I love
somebody
it.
got in his ear.
Yeah. Maybe he's listening.
Well, we got a blow fest here, didn't we? They were knocking each other down. They were fucking punches. They were clotheslining.
Yeah, so it's Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. And again, good old wrestle, right? Wrestle. But god damn,
This
does
feels
Jamie
like the
Hayter.
closest. Well,
I was going to say, Jamie Hayter with that clothesline on Statlander. Fuck.
This feels like, the closest thing we have to like a heavyweight boxing match in AEW here was this.
Yeah. Meat. Yeah. I mean, obviously you don't want to chant that at women, but like the equivalent to Powerhouse Hobbs versus Lance Archer.
Fellas. Then
right. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
But it's a different connotation. Like it is. It's a different, right.
You can't do that to women.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
But yeah, this is the equivalent in the women's division of Lance Archer versus Powerhouse Hobbs. You know what I mean? Like, and they got after it. Like, that clothesline. Fuck. After the, like, I would say, hey, Jamie, you owe me gas money or dinner tonight because that shit fucking hurt. Like, I'm concussed probably.
Yeah.
Fuck
We're
that.
supersizing our meal. God damn it.
Yeah. Man. But Jamie Hayter gets the victory. So then at Double or Nothing, it's going to be Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter.
Mercedes Moné is winning that? I don't feel like,
Someone has to be the first person to beat Mercedes. Because one thing
I
that...
just don't feel like they're like, Jamie Hayter's it right now,
So it's Toni Storm?
Could be.
Because
now this is a tournament thing, so you could play wonky, right? Somebody comes in and costs her the match, but then again, does that cheapen a victory of a tournament like that, right?
Well,
have we done that in the Owen? Have we done a?
I don't think so. But it could be Athena, and that's how we run back Athena versus Mercedes. Right. But I feel like because this is going to be the match for the women's championship at the baseball stadium, they're going to do Toni Storm and Mercedes. But fuck, man. Yep. Here's where, so I follow Chris Van Fleet. He's an interviewer on YouTube, right?
Yeah, no.
He did an interview with Bayley, and Bayley's talking about how like, essentially she's alluding to like not being happy, right? And everyone's like, go to AEW, go to AEW. You're going to be so much happier. And maybe like she would, but if it just means that Bayley comes over and wins all the matches, just like Mercedes is doing right now, I don't fucking want to see it.
So now something that came to my mind, Tom, when I saw that Bayley's real name is Pamela Martinez. If you'll remember, we had a character built up in the early days of the Spanish announce table of Pamela Marie Snyder.
Yeah.
And if somebody were to play that gimmick well, Bayley would do it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's
Pamela Martinez something, right? And suddenly
Smith. Pamela Martina Smith. Yeah, she got married.
Real friendly 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah. 1 week she's a heel. She's a big bad heel. Yeah. Yeah, 3 weeks of for 3 weeks of the month, she's in the conglomeration. For 1 week, though, she's in the Don Callis family.
She's attacking them, right? And they're like, would you stop?
Would you fucking stop?
This is where you give her a Snickers and we cross. We advertise.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't want to see if Bayley comes over this with Mercedes, because I will give her this.
So there could be that. Now, the thing is, it's not anytime soon, right? Is that what?
I don't know.
That, because then if Mercedes never loses and suddenly this one comes over to beat her, but then again, you're running that risk of like, oh, well.
Then everyone here sucks, and the only people that can win here are from that other place, and that's fucking dumb.
Tag team, and now we start a new like women's tag team division. And
well, I said get rid of 2 of those mid-level men's titles and do a women's tag team. I'd like it, but
not for nothing. They seem to be, there was all kinds of stories of those 2 over there being very angry that they weren't allowed to kind of do some of the things they wanted to do over there and give them some free reign to do some of it. I mean,
Well,
maybe we can see.
but what I'm saying is some of that stuff I don't ever want to lose because Mercedes just,
That doesn't work for me, brother. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't fucking want to see that. Because again, the belt,
That could
I'm
be their
being,
team name. That doesn't work for me, brother.
yeah, I'm being a little bit hypocritical because I did think that the Kenny Omega thing was cool when Kenny Omega was doing the belt collector. And look, the belt collector thing is not anything new. The Great Muta did it in
Sure.
Japan, I know, but like,
Jeremy Wyatt.
Jeremy Wyatt locally here, but it's different because like, this is personal feelings, maybe. I just, I didn't like Sasha Banks. And
Yeah.
every time she lost, you could tell it because her face was all pouty and poo poo, unless it was that one time that she lost to Bianca Belair because she was making history, even though night one of WrestleMania isn't a fucking main event. It's not a main event. The last thing of the event is the main event. Night two is the fucking main event. If it ends after one night, then that's the main event. But if it keeps going, you ain't the main event. Sorry. Name it something different, and then you could be the main event. But if it's called the same fucking thing,
I remember
the
one
last
time
thing
WrestleMania
is
was
the main
like
event.
triple main event. I was like, you got to stop.
It's just not true. There's a main event.
Yeah.
You could be the co-main event, but that's it. You could be featured. That's the last thing you get. That's the three kind of matches: featured, co-main, main. Yeah.
Tony
Because
Hire, Tom.
well, because CM Punk gets to do it on night one. Now we call it a main event. Shut the fuck up. Fucking
The mid-show main event. It's the final main event. It's the opening main event. Night two opening main event.
Yeah.
More
just
main
so
events
dumb.
than there aren't.
So, Jamie Hayter, Mercedes. Now, if Mercedes loses, I got two theories or two possibilities that I could see. One, balloons. Two, Athena. And then three, for those who didn't see, balloons came up on the podcast if you're listening. Or three, it's Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron goes, I'm tired of you fucking thinking I'm some kind of clown. I'm going to cost you so you pay attention to me, right? Like now we
She comes around like, oh, well, I thought you were the big bad, couldn't be beat. I think,
right. You always thought I was a joke. Well, now pay attention
Would you
to
get
me.
the puppet to turn on Mercedes?
Yes. You bitch. Yeah. But yeah, so that's our AEW Dynamite. One thing to make note of.
A Bray Wyatt like segment. It doesn't have to be weird, right? But like, remember the Fun House? If we could get a puppet house with Minnie Monet and Harley Cameron doing like some fucking Pee Wee's Playhouse kind of thing. Oh,
dude, if Harley Cameron did it and you could make a Minnie Monet, then you could do the Harley Graham. So that's another puppet, Harley Graham.
Yep. You have the
Then
mini
you
TK
could just-
even. You have another
Yeah,
puppet.
right. And then,
Tony Khan.
then she could just be like, this is my family. Yeah, I think it'd be
Each
great.
week, we could have puppet versions of the thing that you could sell online as merch. Tom, we just, man,
I know.
Tony, we're available. We could talk.
I don't know.
Sell puppets.
Kids.
Where else are you going to hear ideas like that, Tony? Huh?
Yeah. Because the thing is, you think that, like, oh, puppets are for kids and all that stuff. But like, look, motherfucker, these sell huge for adults. I got one. Like, fucking adults will buy those.
No, you sent me a
mini
link where they
Monets.
said currently the data shows that like this was like now more toys are sold to adults for their consumption than
Fuck those
intended
kids.
for child use. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
them kids.
Yeah, fuck
Well,
them
again,
kids.
birth rates are declining, so we're having less of them kids. So it's gonna be for
Hell
adults
yeah.
now. As
Yeah.
humanity falls, right?
Well, you know what I mean? We're fighting for resources that are going away. So fuck you little kids. I'll beat your ass for some
Get
water.
my little plastic toys.
Yeah. Well, my
Revert
plastic
to my
toys and my
hole.
water. Hey, but one thing to make note of, if you're paying attention to the AEW programming schedule, Collision this week is going to be following the NBA playoffs. So if you tune in at 7:00 and you see Nuggets, Rockets, or whatever, Nuggets,
You're going to
Clippers,
triple overtime. Well,
tough shit. Yeah. But that's a good lead in because the last time they did it, their rating fucking spiked a little bit there. So, um, yeah, programming note there is that Collision airs after the playoffs. So hopefully it's not Rockets Nuggets because that's really the only competitive series. Fucking the Thunder beat Memphis in game one by 51 points. Yeah. They said, give me your fucking lunch money, John Morant. Your little toy gun bullshit.
College basketball games where the teams don't even score that many points.
No, oh yeah, we'll try. Oh god.
Hard to
The
watch.
University of USC has gone 4 minutes without scoring.
Women's
Fuck
college
outta here.
basketball is a
Oh.
lot better thing to watch than is the men's college basketball.
Well, women's WNBA. Oh man, WNBA. Their draft just happened. Paige Beckers just went number one. They're coming back, and woo! I tell you what, my Chicago Sky. Even though Angel Reese, I kind of dislike you more and more. But Cardoza, that's my girl. Cardoza, Angel Cardoza. I don't know that Angel Reese, but Cardoza. She's the fucking. What's up? I won a national championship over Caitlin Clark. I'll do it again. WNBA, bitch. You know what I mean? And then Paige versus Caitlyn in the WNBA?
Yeah, I hope Paige is like, well, I won a championship. I don't know about you.
Well, look, the thing that people forget, or maybe casuals, you bitch ass casuals, don't realize is that the reason Caitlin Clark didn't go to UConn is because Gino recruited Paige over Caitlyn. And then when they were both freshmen, guess who the freshman of the year was? It was Paige. It wasn't Caitlyn. Paige got hurt, and then it would have happened, even if the injury didn't happen. Caitlyn said, hey, I'm going to shoot threes like Steph Curry and be fucking world famous. And that's what she did. Boom, 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 boom. It also helped that she was white and played at Iowa, but,
And it always helped to be white in Iowa.
Well, yeah, but also the people who are like, the only reason she's famous is because she's white. Bullshit. Sue Bird, Rebecca Lobo, Brianna Stewart. There are a million white, amazing women basketball players. It's that she fucking shoots it from Mars and makes it all the time. So, anyhow,
and makes it all the time.
Yeah. That's my quick.
Well, all right, man. This was fun. We had fun breaking down the AEW, right? I think everybody should join us next time we do this. Also, jump in the chat like Justin Flora, like Darren K83, like Shadow Play from Ireland, and many others could join us and talk to us. And you can hit us up at aewrapup@gmail.com to send emails. We'll read or play those if you send us like an audio or a video clip, right? We might play those on the show. And if you need advice, we are here for you. Dear Tim and Tom, right? I've been struggling with this thing. I could do this, or I could do that. What say you, right? And the advice you're going to get will be advice. That is all we promise.
It will be words that we will say back to you.
And it could be actionable advice. You could decide to take those actions.
Could be fun.
Maybe. It could be. So we beg of you, please do that. aewrapup@gmail.com, and also check us out at allelitewrapup.com, and we'll be back next week for some more All Elite Wrap Up.